Alright, guys, what's up? It's Life with Ariel, and
Shy.
so we're in a new setting because for the last times we've been trying to do any recording. Our schedules haven't been matching up. My work has been hectic. The days that we get to record are really Sundays because that's like the day that we typically have free. But some stuff has been going off for the past Sundays. But the most important thing is that we're back, guys. We're actually serious about being consistent. So we're back to discuss Love is
Yeah.
Blind UK season 2. Charia, I'm gonna let you start with your thoughts on the season. Like how would you describe it overall?
So season. Alright. So me, I think that I waste my time watching season, and I feel like this is the worst love style I've ever watched out of all of them that I have watched. That's just my take on.
Honestly, that's so real. This season was actually, I don't think I've seen any other season like that bad. Like in how
Exactly.
things happen. Like this is a first, I've got to admit. Like the way all things panned out. Let's not get ahead of ourselves and talk about what actually happened. But if you guys had seen like our reaction to the cast, I feel like everything that we said came true. We were telling a lot of people they need to go home, and they see for themselves that they really needed to go home,
Right.
honestly. Cause it's like we just call it from the jump, honestly. And we also had recorded a video reacting to the first episode, but we had some issues like with editing it. The file was giving some problem. So we're just gonna do like episode 1 to like the reunion. So my suggestion is that we probably talk about the couples instead of trying to go episode 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
Cause
better do that because it's gonna take too long if
exactly, and
this stuff.
I don't even remember some things what did happen in which specific episode. I just know what happened overall.
Yeah.
And some episodes kind of were dragging. I was like, yeah, like, come on, I don't care, move on. So, which couple you want to start with?
I think we should start with Billy and Ashley.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
Ashley and Ellie. Yeah. We in our
Billy was
go ahead. He was the army trainer. Yeah, and Ashley is the cabin crew member,
yes.
aka air hostess. Exactly. I remember when we reacted to the cast and we were saying we really need to find out why Billy got divorced to see if it's something that can be fixed in the future, if it's gonna affect future relationships. And honestly, to see how everything turned out, really and truly, I should have asked the question because I can't believe how things ended. But let's start from the top. Let's start from the top.
Alright, so when they were in the pods, they had a connection. Um, they were one of the first to meet each other. They were first to engage as well, and I felt like they were going to get married. My opinion, because they look alright together. Based on we watching other videos, I'm like, see that this one look like they're going to work. But yeah, that's how I feel about Billy and Ashley. And while watching in the first part, I didn't really ask much question, as I was
Yeah.
saying. That was a very important part because you don't want to just come out and marry to somebody you don't know nothing much about. And I think that if they had spent more time other than just getting emotions and make their emotions take over and then engage at an early stage, they should have spent more time in the pods asking more questions. But I think they had a connection based on watching. So as I said, I thought they were going to ended up being married. It didn't
In
work
the
out like
long
that.
run. The thing is, I think everybody gets engaged at the same time, but how they order it in terms of like the editing of the show, they might put
hmm
forward some earlier. So I think usually it's like day 10, everybody usually gets engaged. But it's like for the most part, there really wasn't any competition between Billy and Ashley. They kind of were always sure it's gonna be them. And I think they were one of the people that had already said I love you before, like meeting in person, if I'm not lying. But the thing that I saw in the pods that I was like, this is gonna be an issue, is that Billy is like, okay, I have dated persons that are here hostesses in the past
Oh
and it
yeah.
hasn't worked out. And he knew from day one this girl is an air hostess. Of course, like the more you get to talk to somebody, you're like, okay, I like so many features about them, so many traits. So like I don't fault Billy for liking Ashley. But the thing is, you shouldn't have allowed yourself to develop too deeper feelings if for you being the person you're dating being an air hostess is such a big problem. And the thing is, I don't even think Ashley knew how big a problem it was to him because like when he brought it up in the past, she's like, I can make some adjustments to my job to allow for more flexibility. And he's like, okay, I'm glad that you are open to doing that, right? But then further down the line, already meeting the parents, and it's a few days from the wedding. He's bringing up the whole job thing again, and she felt so blindsided to the point that she started crying because he's like, "Is it that like I'm not enough or something? Like you knew what job I was doing. I'm willing to make the adjustments to make this work. Why are you still bringing up this job thing as a thing that would make you doubt if you should get married?" She even carry him on a plane and show him like, how them did little
Okay.
demonstration. All of that might be doing with her. And in the back of his mind, he's like, I don't trust this. Even his father, when she met Billy's father said, boy, Ashley, what Billy told me is that I'll be fine. But if there's a cabin crew member there, I'm leaving by myself. That is how
Mhm.
serious it is that he did not want to pursue a relationship with a cabin crew member, aka air hostess. It was that serious for him, but he was just ignoring that and making Ashley think that he is willing to work along with somebody with a job like that. And I feel like that was the biggest deception. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why.
You didn't have connection with nobody else? Another part?
Maybe he did, but the show don't show it. It
Yeah.
would seem like his most genuine and strongest connection was with Ashley.
Boy.
But the thing is, what I was thinking to myself, is that even if Ashley is the exception with all of the air hostesses he has met in the past, because it has been such a problem in the past, I think the best thing that he should have done was to say, Ashley, let's not get married, date and see how we can work out this work thing. Because I think they were also living in two different areas and it was very far to travel, which make more pressure on the relationship. So they sort of say, you know what, we haven't figured out how we align our jobs in a way that can make for a good relationship. Instead of getting married, because spoiler alert, they did get married. Honestly, on the wedding day, my dating said, I said, no, I'm not lie.
Really? I thought he was going to say no as well.
I was feeling sick in my stomach because I was like, they're not supposed to get married, but I feel like Billy I just say no because Ashley, she not really look at it and not really look at the signs.
I
She's
should
just like, yeah, man, it
excited.
can work.
Yeah.
And she just excited. She's like, it can work, it can work. While Billy is like, I don't know about this. So I was like, boy, actually, I go feel sad when Tenant said no at the altar, but it have to do. Only to see Billy say, yeah. I said, all right, maybe you go and do what needs to be done to make it work. Not at all. I never say I'm more. I don't know if you see this in any other season. I love it, but in a different country. But people, they're not even married 3 months old. That killed me dead. That they killed me dead in the reunion. I was so
Waste
shocked.
of time.
And the thing that's killing me is that Billy has been married before. In an
Exactly.
introduction, in his introduction, he's like, I don't want to be divorced again. But if you really don't want to be divorced again, you would have give up in 3 months.
First of all, he should have gone a pads since he married already and the one. Because that time they too short.
Exactly. It's too short, as
Yeah.
well as you need time to really make sure that when you're going to marry again, this is somebody that you can actually align yourself with. And the thing is, they provide you with the apartments to stay in during the period that you're getting to marry. So it can feel like y'all are living together, but then once they show is done and you go back to your own place, you guys need to find out how you're going to work this out.
Yep.
And I don't think they did really consider that for somebody that's been divorced before. It don't seem like you take this marriage thing serious. Because if I took marriage serious, I wouldn't have given up in 3 months.
Exactly.
And I could understand if it's something like abuse, right? Or maybe cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's valid. If somebody like 3 months into the marriage starts to abuse you or cheat on you, I would say, yeah, even though it's 3 months, get up and leave, cut your losses early. But none of that happened. But you didn't really understand what his explanation was for why he left. Because to be honest, I didn't.
No, your reason. When I get the reason, the reason don't make no
And
sense.
it don't make sense because essentially he's saying that, you know, it was hard to make it work.
Yeah,
Actually
communication.
saying, sorry,
I was saying lack of communication and the
yeah.
space gap.
And then you actually was like you were making the compromise to make it work. He's like you never want to move to where I was. That's another thing. You all know you live different places. Y'all never decide who moving to where and
But you see,
how long it would.
also the thing with air hostess, every airline they have a base, so she can't just get up and move. Them can't just move like that. They have to be on base because sometimes they get called immediately. So they have to be flexible persons. So she can just get up and move, but they have a thing where when you're married, they give you as I don't remember what you call it, but like them give you housing and stuff for you
Oh,
and your husband. Yeah, when you're here, say that more easier for him go there than she moving. Should have to change her job because you can't leave base.
exactly. So if him should have been aware of these details, but he's an inflexible man, and I'm so sorry. Actually, I kind of have to put some responsibility on her part. The band don't even flexible with the food when eat. And you really
True.
think him I gonna change him whole life. We're gonna try make the marriage work. Mm-mm. And I want to say she should have didn't know, but some signs were
Mother
there
have
that he's
mother.
not
And I think
yeah.
mother and I think mother say yes at the altar.
I don't think they were at the place to say yes at the altar. And even with the food thing, let me go back to the food thing. I found it kind of weird. I don't know if like you found it weird as well. But let me say what I found weird about it. I understand that he is a trainer and fitness is something that he has to hold up not only for the people he's training, but also for himself as an example, right? So I'm like, okay, you have a strict diet and don't eat certain things. That is okay. You want to eat rice and broccoli every day? 100% go ahead and do it. But she wasn't telling him what to eat. She's saying what she wants to eat.
Right.
He's like, that's why it's okay to have 600 calories. I never asked you. Did I ask? I don't care. She's the one going to eat it. And then he's like, well, if you bite and it's in the house, I'm going to eat it. Wait a second. So you can't control yourself and not eat the food that's not yours. She's buying the cake for herself. So just tell herself, this is not my cake and I'm not eating it.
Right. The more she give up everything to him. And only think about him happy alone. Like that don't make no sense.
And I really feel like that probably was the reason why his first marriage flopped because he's inflexible. He don't want to change.
He's
And if
about
his
himself.
partner is exactly, if his partner don't want to change, then I guess it won't work because he's not changing either. I don't know the exact things were happening in our marriage. I think probably the same fallout of love. You see that was our next red flag. I'm sorry. If you are a divorcee and I ask you what happened in your marriage, and you tell me y'all fell out of love, I think that's a shaky ground. Just I don't know about that
Okay.
because not every day you're going to get up and feel the same way about the person. If the person never do anything like to slight you and lose your trust or hurt your feelings or whatever, how is it that you just randomly fall out of love? That's not reassuring. I wouldn't follow people like that into any serious relationship because I don't know if they're going to work for it even on the days when they don't feel the butterflies and all the giddy feelings. Like you're just going to give up when those feelings leave, or you're going to try to rebuild the spark. What are you going to do? It was so surprising how easily Billy just
Yeah.
give entire thing. So sad. It's so sad. Honestly, I feel it for Ashley. And I never want to say nothing more about them.
No, that's I think we don't that with it. But just hope to actually get somebody who willing to move to which part feel there. Probably she can get somebody in that feel like pilot or a air hostess as well. So they
Uh,
understand.
uh-huh. Or somebody where the type of job that they do, it's not fixed to a location. They have the flexibility to move. So like if you work online or you're your own entrepreneur and your business isn't like set in a specific location, that would allow the flexibility. I feel like you can find somebody in which like she'll grow a relationship, but you have to be serious about ensuring that this person is a flexible person and willing to make the sacrifices. I think we should talk about Sarova and Kalman because their situation kind of linked to Billy and Ashley. So Sarova and Cal, right? When I first saw Cal, I was like, all right, he look a little better than how the picture he took in the meet the cast section was. So I'm like, okay, he's a good looking guy, fit and so on. Sometimes you kind of wonder to yourself why some people on this show, can you think to yourself that there's nothing like objectively wrong with them in terms of like how they look and they seem like a normal person. When you're just meeting them, so you're like, why is it that they would come on a show like this to find love? Why they can't find it in like their day-to-day life? But I think we found out why Kyle now make progress. I think in his introduction he was like he has never had like a long-term relationship. It's always like some short relationships.
Oh yeah.
And he's yeah, and he's from Pakistan. Well, no, he has a Pakistani parent and a white parent. I think his mother is white. His father is Pakistani. I think we only saw the mother in this show. And I think his parents are divorced. I think um Sarova's parents are divorced as well. Yeah,
That was
something
appearance
like that.
before.
I think so. I think two of them divorced. I mean, even on the show when the mother was talking, she alone was there and the father
Oh yeah, true.
showed up at the wedding, but he didn't show up like with the mother. Pretty sure them divorced. I mean, I can always check back my news. But yeah, with Cal, I didn't see like something like wrong with him at first, but then like as we continue on, I realized, oh, maybe all isn't well as we thought. So at first we thought the problem could be that what they're Indian and they're Pakistan. So maybe they will have problems with their family if their family is like, you're not going to marry no Pakistani man, or you're not going to marry no Indian girl. The parents could curious, honestly. So I don't even know why that was like even a thing in this show. Nobody never cared.
Exactly.
Right? And then when they came out and met each other, they looked like they were very happy. Tal was like, she's very pretty, she's beautiful,
And
feel confident. Sarova is like, who is my type and all of that. I'm like, okay, cool. They go to the location for the quote unquote honeymoon. It's not really a honeymoon because they aren't married yet, but you know what I mean. It's the vacation, right? And he's like all of a sudden saying, well, you're not like my usual type. I usually date blonde, white, blue eye women. I'm like, is this gonna be a problem? And then when he met like all the other engaged couples, he's like, oh, Barda and Ashley are like the typical look up the girls I normally date. And I'm like,
mm,
when I look at Border, when I look at Ashley, and when I look at Sarova, in my eyes, me don't think Sarova look prettier than the two of them. And that don't mean say
Yes,
them not pretty. I'm just saying like genuinely,
Yoruba is very pretty.
very pretty. Me not think like them I do nothing more than she in terms of like how she looks and I just think she's a very beautiful girl. So I'm like, if you have such a very specific type, it's not like you date a variety of women. I really do
Mm,
think that Love is Blind is not the place for you because
right.
like you're not necessarily gonna get a blonde person who is white. So I mean, Sarova also only dated Indian men before. So I guess
Mm,
the same thing could apply to her, but at least she expressed being open to dating people of different ethnicities and appearance. And
mm,
according to Kali's, like the only reason he was always dating the same look of a person is because in the environment he grew up in, those were the women that he saw. But he finds her over beautiful and blah 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 blah. So it's all right, everything cool then. Then we meet his brother, and his brother is like, Sarova seemed like a nice girl. But when he's
mm.
talking to the camera, he's like, if I had to put my life on it, I don't see this working. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, valid. If a relative came to me and said, I only know this person for 2 weeks and we're getting married, I would also be like, I don't really think that will work. But that's not the only reason why he's saying he's like you've never had any long relationship with any girl. You know, seem like the person that can sustain a long relationship, but you want to get married and you want to get married with somebody that you barely know.
You
Don't make
should again
sense.
but
It really
yeah.
shouldn't. And the thing is, like, it would seem like the people he's dated before, it's not like something went wrong with them. Far as
Mm,
he's saying, at least seems to be saying, is like they're okay, but it's like him just lose the feeling or whatever. I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know why he ends
but
relationships
there's
that
something wrong with
often.
him.
Something serious around the too. Like maybe he has commitment issues, or maybe him just not really fall in love with somebody for real, for real. Like him like people.
Him
In
look
claims him did love her throughout the experiment. To me, when I see Sarah Van Call, I just think like them have a good vibe, but when I wasn't getting in love vibes.
Mm.
But them said them love one another. So who was I
She
to
love
judge?
him though. She love him. She genuinely love him.
Yes. And another thing that made me say me really get in love vibes, at least from Cal's point of view, is when it went to meet her mother, and the mother is like, "So what about Saruva made you like say you want to get married to her?" It's like you don't know what to say, and I'm like, the mother was so anxious, sending a lot of messages to Sarova and all of that, and Sarova share this information with you. See how Sarova was stressing out. You could have put together some stuff that you would say when she's asking you, why do you want to get to marry my daughter? He was just talking in some vague ways, like, you know,
We had
I
a
don't remember the
connection
exact
before.
words. Yeah, we had a connection. She's a very intelligent girl. She's,
Like she
but it's
know that.
like, yeah, but what's specific about her that make you said this is the one? That's why I was like, to be honest, I don't even know how she got to the point to be like, you know what, I give my blessing because I was not convinced. Me personally, I'm like, y'all cool right now, but I think you guys need to get to know one another because it seems like you don't really know why he wants to get married to you. Y'all have a good vibe, but it's not marriage ready in my eyes. Or maybe the mother was just like, you know what, let me just support my daughter. She feeling like she really passionate and want to get married to this man. Let me not stop her and block her blessings. Let me just support her. Because she seems to be quite determined about it. Um, to be honest, right, I wish she would have been like, no, girl, give it some more time. Because
Mhm.
he also, after 3 months, was like, all right, I did try. I
Yeah,
tried.
them try.
But I feel like the way he went about it was so cool. It's like he didn't just like end that marriage. He was approaching it like him just break up with a girlfriend.
Mhm.
No, look, a fight. Apparently, it was a text message. I think that's what Sarova said. Now
Yeah,
imagine,
that's what he said.
imagine you are married and your husband.
Boy, but I have to find him.
I'm laughing at Sarova. I'm just laughing at how ridiculous the situation is. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being married and your husband break up with you over text? But I have to fight somebody because you're so unserious. How you ever break up with me over text and we're married? What? And apparently he hasn't said anything to her leading up to that moment, you know? And she's like, is there anything? You're okay? Everything good? Is everything going fine? We don't want anything, Like she's checking in to see if everything is good. And he didn't give any indication of the fact that he was either losing feelings or whatever.
He
He
just
just
dropped it down.
dropped it like a bomb all of a sudden. And he's like, I'm not very affectionate and outwardly affectionate. So whatever she was asking of me, I felt like I was doing my best, but it just wasn't enough. And I'm like, I mean, like, nothing wrong to like try a little more. You're married, it's not like your girlfriend. And then like being that you've had so many like failed relationships, could it be that you're the problem and you actually do need to change if you want to make a relationship work in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like even the way how Love is Blind, they let us know, say them not married no more. They just did it for embarrass poor Sarova. Them I ask her, how is marriage life? Girl say, what married
True.
life? I'm like, don't tell me, say, Una never know, say the relationship with them.
Me
Why not
see, so
embarrass her like that? That was so embarrassing. Oh
and she
my
didn't have a
God.
clear explanation either. And him just sitting there, she said, you want to slap this time because slap it 3 4
Yeah, he and Billy had some times where they were moving so sassy, you know, arguing back and all them stuff. They're like, weren't you the person that caused the problem in the first place? Why you have so much
Exactly.
talk back? Like, hello? I didn't like how
And
they were
they,
moving like they
the two
had
of them
anything to
break up
stand
at the
on.
same time frame, like them planning.
And the thing is, they Ashley said that Carl and Billy meet up um like about a week or less before the breakup happened, right? And according to them, they were confiding in each other about like the issues they were experiencing. And at the top of the start of the year, not long after New Year's at that, man, them say, New Year, new me, I'm done, I'm a single man. They have such terrible timing. And they're like, oh, it was a plan. Nobody can tell me it never planned. Nobody
Yeah.
can tell me it wasn't planned. It was planned. Maybe they didn't say, okay, this is how we're gonna do it and so on, but the two of them definitely spoke to each other and at the end of their conversation come to the conclusion that our marriage is not worth fighting for and we need to end it. And soon.
It's soft.
ASAP. We can't even make January done before it no at the top of the year. Not 1 week passed before this end. It was so that's actually so sad. Like
Yeah,
even the host of the reunion start ball. Honestly, same. Because like, oh my God, that's so sad. That's genuinely so sad.
we did upset, never sad. We did just want to lick somebody. That what me. You know sad, we want to lick you. We can get sense in your head.
That and the thing is like nobody saw that they would have been so bad. Me personally, I didn't think they were at the place to be married. To be honest, I didn't really get in love vibes from anybody on the show. Everybody they give me the more of the vibes of like boyfriend and girlfriend
Yeah, dating.
dating.
Never ready to marry.
Even for the couple that did stay together, still kind of give me more like dating vibe, to
Yeah,
be honest. So therefore, in my mind, everybody really should have said no on the altar. But I still didn't expect it to be like this. Uh, Even if like you were gonna like part at the end, I figured that they would have given a bit more of a try. But it seemed like they weren't serious, in my opinion. Billy and Kyle together were very
um,
unserious individuals. They're like, I loved you at the time. That was 3 months ago, but you know the love's so short. I don't understand.
uh,
I don't know if they even know what love is, because like 3 months and you fall out of love after 3 months, and according to you, the person didn't do anything wrong. You just said like her, brethren. You weren't in love. I don't know. All right, who next?
Patricia and you're a liar.
No, man. Honestly, when you read about the skin thing for Patrick, Mr. Foolishness, that the youth are go waste people time.
Yeah, but I must say, big up to him for say no before them even go engage and go married. We're glad him be come
Yeah,
out. We're glad him spleen tell him say him not ready for married because I know that I look forward to it. Even though when in the past when they just meet, she was like thinking about it really deep. But sometime in the past, I don't know which season, but she was looking forward for it at one point. Like she started overlook
yeah,
certain things.
proposal.
Yeah, she
Like,
overlooked certain things on that.
yeah, like for instance, he was like, "What if your mother doesn't agree with our relationship? You wouldn't go through with it." And he was making it out to be like, "Oh, she just listen to people and do whatever people say and people pleasing, and they don't like that in a person." But I felt like he was overdoing it. It's more like if your family know you, they know your personality, and they know what you typically are like in relationship, your past relationships and all that. If they have all this knowledge, they're the better persons to tell you, to be honest, I feel like you should proceed with caution, or
Yeah.
I don't support this one, or yes, I support it.
Wait there, my give me sister.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Yes, I feel like he misinterpreted what she was trying to say when she said like she values her mother opinion, and if she don't agree with it, that she don't know if she would actually proceed. And me personally, I felt like this whole spirituality thing that he was going on with would not mesh well with her being a Christian. And I don't
Yeah.
know why she never considered that. I feel like he also, the fact that he had parents that are Christians as well, but then move away from that. Who knows if he has like some um strong disagreements with certain things with Christianity, and should have only figured that out when time now she, attending church and she wanting to come along and stuff like that. To be honest, as I said, my glad same screen
Yep.
is clean,
It's little right.
doing the right thing. And they had like some other things that they were saying, and she was like, like when she heard it, she was like, I don't like how that song. Or she
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't really agree with that, how you're wording that. Some of the stuff are kind of missing right now. But like my problem was like she never really give enough pushback to when you'd say something that she's like, I don't really agree with that. She kind of like
Not question.
overlook it. She never really, yeah, challenge what he's saying. And he also had a problem with the fact that she wouldn't sing for him. I'm like, remember we're on TV, like yes, she obviously sings for her work, but because of that fact, you should never like warm up our voice and practice a little
Yeah.
song and then go sing and it sound away them and say, ooh, and are you a singer and then clone her. That's a possibility. He's making it
Mm-hmm.
seem like it's an insecurity thing. No, she probably well secure in the fact that she can sing, but she just never want to pop out a song on your demand, right? And if when she finally have a song ready now, at least then they have the decency to say, listen, um, nobody sing the song because, to be honest, I don't know about to dump you right now. I'm about to dump you right now. Don't sing the song and, you know, feel embarrassed because at least he's clean, let him right, yeah. But like when they met up at the party, I understand Anu's like anger. I do feel like maybe she did go a little bit too hard on him. Like,
She never give
she
me a
not make
chance.
never give him no chance to talk.
Yeah.
I do think that maybe she should have did calm with that little bit. Like even when she came to greet everybody, it's like
Nasty.
you don't want to be with Auntie. So yeah, when he when they were at the big party with all the previous members of Love Is Blind from the pods, and she see him, she greet everybody decent, and then she's like, not greeting you. I don't remember what she
No,
had
when
said at the time.
he said, I'm Patrick, everybody introduced themselves. I must say she never see you. And then he said, I'm Patrick. And she just turned away and started talk to somebody else, one other girl. She never. And they must say, like, don't do that. Don't do that. But she never cared. She just walked and talk to the other girl until she not agree to.
Yeah. I mean, me would have moved different. Like, if I really move on from the situation, I'll be like, hello, Patrick.
Yeah,
And then
me would agree
don't
to
talk to
you.
him for the rest of the night. But I guess, like, she was very much, what do you call it, like, salty and
Mm-hmm.
still very much hurt. Hence why she was, like, reacting the way that she was, which is understandable because, like, my issue with Patrick and this clean thing is like, oh, so you don't have a mind to think about decisions. It's just like, and the thing is, like, if you tell me that the reason you did something was because of your spleen, how you gonna explain your spleen?
Exactly.
How you gonna give reasonings behind it? If I tell you that I thought about it and these are the reasons why I came to this decision, I can understand it, I can reason with it. But when you tell me say a quote unquote your spleen, then what does that give me now to reason out and ask for explanation for me to understand what's going on? To be honest, from day one, it would have been right off of my book because I can't make decisions with a person that make a decision based on them spleen.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at the bills and say, let's budget, your spleen going to tell you how much money you need to spend in the month. When I'm planning for the future and deciding on where to buy a house or what car to buy, your spleen going to tell you what to do, whether you can afford it or not, whether it's a good area or not. All kind of like
Look,
practical
so
stuff in life. And if I spleen will guide you, I can't follow you. I cannot. I use
but
my
what could I
brain.
still take this up? Yeah, that no sense.
It really don't. But to be honest, I feel like whatever is talking about regarding skin is just what people call a gut feeling. But sometimes
Mm-hmm.
your gut feeling can be wrong. Sometimes it's something based off of fear or some triggers in the past or whatever, but it's not always accurate. That's why you need to use your brain and reason out things and make a informed decision about something. But thank God him in it because I feel like I know what I try make something work where it really did need to stop and
They, they just make
I don't
matters
know.
worse.
Some of the girl them really and truly from day one, them should have did say, yeah, lock down the shop
Mm-hmm.
because there were certain things that were non-negotiables that really they shouldn't have been trying to work it through. Honestly, the next one now I would say is I want to talk about Barda and Jed.
Never really take them in, you know. But what do you think them did I go married? Do you think
To be honest, I didn't really see it. I thought that Jed was going to be the one to say no at the altar,
yeah.
but it did surprise me that Barda did it. But you know what? Good for her. Because at least she was one of the women that was like, I see something look kind of strange, and I'm not going to just say yes because I love him, but the no is the appropriate answer for our things to start with. But before we get there, with Jen and Barton, they were like very like exciting or anything. But I think they were one of the few people in the pods that had parents that were still married and married for very long years, like over 30 plus years. And Barda is from Scandinavia, I think. Jed, I don't remember the country, but they kind of have similar cultures, so they were vibing on that, and they love their family, blah 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 blah. Get engaged, them like how each other look. The things that made me say I never really think that they were supposed to get married was Jed is the type of person where he wants to take care of his woman, he wants to be the man of the house, leading everything. But Barda is the one that wants But Barda, she wants to be in charge and take the leading role. And I'm like, this kind of thing come up in conversation with the talks. Sometimes I really
Exactly.
want to let him talk about in there. I feel like we need more context to what they actually speak about in the pods because some of these things you should actually talk about before you reach outside and
I
propose to a
probably them
person.
talk about it, but them just like the surface side, them not really go deep in it, so them not really understand. Because that don't make no sense to me. You get time for talk on iPad, so make use of the time you get and don't wait until it reach nika time you have to talk with that.
Exactly. And she was saying it like in the earlier parts, like around the honeymoon section, saying like, yes, I like to wear the pants and I am very independent. I like to pay for my own stuff and all of that. And Jed was like, okay, understand, but I also like to treat my lady. I like to pay for stuff and blah blah blah. And she's like, that's not my style. I feel like they should have big into that more, as I said. And
Mm-hmm.
they reached to a point where Jed, this was off camera, but Jed and her, they were going out to a restaurant, and Jed was like, please just allow me to pay for this one. And they eat the food, and when it's time to pay, she puts out her card to go pay, and he was upset about it. She says just forget, she did forget that he had asked that at the time. But him have it up in her mouth. And they were just having like disagreements and arguments as a result of that. Me, to be honest, I feel like that's like a little issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she didn't remember and you say, hey, remember I'm doing it this time. So relax, man, and just pay it. Then to me that should have been the argument. Finished. Obviously we didn't see how it played out, but I'm still struggling to understand why they had such a difficult time with that.
Exactly.
It just but you know the problem is the two of them want to be in charge.
right, and that can't work
It
because
can't work.
normally men don't like it neither. Most men don't like when women in charge. Them always want to be the head. So when a woman want to take charge, that's gonna be a problem in a relationship.
And I also was wondering to myself why Barda just so determined to be in
I
charge.
think like probably a past experiences that she have, or probably she was one of them where they on her own, she always independent, so she not really grew up with a partner or something like that. So she
But
probably
the
are the
thing
one that
is,
always in charge.
she said that when she was growing up as a child, like her
Mhm.
brothers were always the ones taking care of her about everything and so on. As an adult, she started being independent, living on her own and stuff like that. But I'm like, if your brothers used to treat you essentially the way that Jed is proposing to do, why then
Mhm.
you can't just relax and allow him to do that? I'm not saying she must work, that she can never buy anything for herself, but just to go out on a date and allow somebody to pay for the food, you can't do that. It's food.
Probably even when them did not take care of her and them probably they used to say stuff to her that push her to go on her own, I'm not sure. Things
I
like
don't
that
know.
happen.
Possibly. Maybe she feel like people take advantage of
Right.
the fact that they do things for you and they put it over your head and they're like, oh,
Yeah, so she has said
this
she
is how
not make
you
that happen
treat.
to her again.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing is, like, they also have to understand sometimes for men, they just want to, this is how they show that they appreciate you, they love you.
Yeah.
So allow them to do it from time to time. Like, why you put up such a fight? Maybe you can say, okay, this time we go, you pay, next time is my
Mm,
treat. And you alternate it. So that
right.
way, it's not a situation where the person is like, oh, I me always do this.
Probably do, but that don't even make sense to make a big deal out of that for
I
somebody
don't
to.
see it either. That's why I'm really wondering why she's so averse to it. Why she put up such a fight against it. I don't really understand. There's something going on there, to be honest. I don't know why it's such a big problem for her. And then I realized with Love is Blind, once you say no at the altar, even if you want to date after the fact, most people don't make it. And at
True.
the reunion, she was saying that one of the last straws was that they went to the gym together. He sees his ex-girlfriend, asks her to turn their engagement ring around so that people don't know that it's an engagement ring. That looks funny, man.
You see
To
that the
me,
part when me get mad.
that they upset me. I'm like, huh? I hide you, hide me. You want to find other
Exactly.
girls? Why you don't just end the relationship if that's how you feel? So yeah, when you left, you were saying like you were so upset when you heard that part of the reunion with Varda and what's his face, Jed. With the one time they were at the gym and the ring, he was telling her to
Oh,
turn it down.
oh yeah. Yeah, because like what your ex have to do with your relationship now. Like you're not supposed to tell me about take off my ring. Turn. When say turn the ring,
Yeah, like you know what a rock would be or something like that.
don't make
He's
she see
like,
a engagement ring. Like yeah, your ex still not. She's not your ex. You basically Yana still not something. You feel like Yana still not something. The fact that me need to turn it. If she your ex and still
yeah,
have a problem with me, you're supposed to move on.
yeah, and if the thing is they're considering like what your ex think and stuff like that, it gives the
Exactly.
impression that you're trying to restart something with her and you don't want her to know that you're in a relationship with somebody else. And if that's how you're feeling, then you need to end the relationship with me. If you're
Right.
trying to still look outside the other person. And I feel like that's what he should have done. Boy, that seemed like she was saying like it was more like out of guilt how she did do or things she was still like wearing the engagement ring, still trying to make the relationship work. But I'm like, don't do not out of guilt, my girl. It's either you really want to do the thing or you're not doing the thing. And the same goes for Jed. If you don't want to continue the relationship, be upfront about that and not be was being sneaky about it. So yeah, that's all I'm have to say for them because really and truly never really cared,
All right.
to be honest. Then we have you want who you want to talk about next?
David,
You want to talk about the whole situation with Javin, um,
Katisha,
Katisha,
and yeah,
Katisha, and the Mola, or you want to talk about the situation with what is her
Kieran,
name? Megan,
Megan.
Sophie, and Kieran. Which one I want the first?
Well, anyone. Megan, and Sophie. If you see
All
if it will
right. So
make
with
people
Meg,
laugh.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Here. What are your thoughts with Megan and Sophie?
All right, so we had reacted to episode one, but we didn't get to post that. But we were talking about Sophie and Megan. So I was saying that Sophie was controlling, and she is similar to someone that in one of the previous Love Is Blind that we watched. So we're saying that we
Yeah,
predicted how,
Augustina.
yeah, Augustina. We
The
predicted
Augustina
how
from I
her
think Augustina was from the which one is Spanish country? Argentina? Was it the
yeah, I
Argentina
think the
version was?
Argentina.
Yeah. Controlling, jealous. Yeah.
Yep. And we predicted that it would go just like how Augustina had play out with she and the other person. So Megan, she talked more. Sophie had a problem with opening up, and Kieran and Megan, they three of them had a connection. But when Megan received a gift from Kieran, Kieran in name, I call him right?
Yeah,
So, because of all these things with Sophie, Kieran was like, I'm not getting all the stuff that I need to make a decision to get married to someone. Like, you're cool and all, Soph, but I'm not getting the emotional connection that I need as in comparison to another connection that I have. And reading Sophie's personality, she seems to be very much a self-assured person, thinks highly of herself, and very egotistical based on like how she would speak and stuff like that. She seems like hard to please and all of that. I figured that she wouldn't take well being compared to somebody else, so that she would. So I had already summarized that she was gonna like step up her game, but not to the level that was needed. And she did like share some of like the emotional wounds that she has that affects her level of opening up by sharing that her relationship with her mom kind of deteriorated after she found a new man, and it felt like a rejection or betrayal. And I'm pretty sure there are other instances as well that has formed the character that she is today. And definitely it took a lot to get to that place to say it. But my thing with Sophie is that because of those like emotional wounds, Love is Blind is not the place for you because this is an expedited process. If you can't get there emotionally with a person by being vulnerable upfront, then this process is not for you. You need the time to really develop the trust with a person to be able to open up in the way that you need to. And this process is too short to really do that because of how deep the wounds are and the distrust is. Anyway, the thing that really like caused them to say, all right, we're not moving forward was when Kieran gave a small gift to Megan. Um, Person I was like, all right, this is cute, but like Megan was like over the moon because like he put his aftershave on it. It was a gift he got from Japan, so it has some sentimental value to it. And when she came back to the women's quarters, she was like so excited, over the moon, screaming, laughing. Like you could hear her voice over the men's quarter. That's how loud she was. And I was thinking to myself, like, Megan, would you know that your man is talking to somebody else? Like you being this overly excited is definitely gonna make the other person feel away. Not that you shouldn't be happy and stuff like that. But I felt like she was just unaware. I don't even know if she knew that Kieran was talking to somebody else, seriously. So when Sophie heard all of this, she was like, her ego got hurt because she's like, oh, so like, I'm not gonna be second best to anyone. I'm ending this, and I felt like to some extent, her reaction was maybe a bit too much for the situation. But she was valid in thinking that this is a clear sign that there is some preference. It wasn't like you gave a gift to her and then you gave a gift to me. Obviously, like the feelings that you're having for her seems to be stronger. Let me just exit myself from this triangle. But the way she went about it is like, listen, I'm a catch on the outside, so like trust me, I'm not going to be in competition with anyone. I felt like that's just her ego talking, but really and truly her feelings were hurt. Going beyond the pods, Megan and Kieran Sintada's smooth sailing, I don't really remember much that was like of significance to say in terms of their relationship. However, I felt like the situation that went down with Katisha and Javin was a bit there's stuff that I'd like to say in regards to that, but I guess I'll save it for when I finally come around to them because there's more context needed to be added. I felt like how he approached Kieran, that is, approached his meeting with Sophie in real life was it started off a little weird because like I felt like a lot of the guys were acting kind of odd around Sophie, like giggling, laughing, smiling, cheesing. I know she's a pretty girl, but like remember you guys are engaged. Like pull yourself together. Like I felt like a lot of them was like a little too giddy, and Kieran being like, I'd like to have a chat with Sophie. So Megan, I'm like, what you need to say though? It's not like Sophie's hung up about it. At least she's trying to present that she's not hung up about it, and she was the one that ended it. What you did wasn't like some major slight to her. So I didn't think the conversation was necessary, and ain't much was said anyway. So I felt like it was a waste of time. But who knows? Maybe to Sophie it meant something. I don't know. Um, and yeah, they got married. I wasn't like shocked about that, and I'm glad that they're still married because like it was kind of sad to see that most of the relationships that were in the show did not work out. So at least one did. In regards to Javin, Demola, and Katisha, whoa, that was a situation.
It's a real story mix up line between those three. Okay, so Demola and Katisha had a connection. I feel they were more emotionally connected. Javin and Katisha also had a connection as well. But you know, Jamaicans, Javin is a Jamaican. The men, they are persistent. They always try to get what they want. They always try to get what they want. So they will go the extra mile to do anything at all to get what they want. Right? And Katisha, she was back and forth with both of them, seeing who will she choose. At one point she get confused. In that case, I think she should not have gone forward with any one of them. Reason being, she had came to a decision, said that Demola is the one, and when they met in the pods, she told him that she was ready, and I don't remember the exact words, but she was saying that she's not choosing anyone else, he is the one, something like that. Don't quote me, but yes, in that line she makes him feel reassured and that yes, she's ready, he's the one, and she's gonna break it off with Javed. Then the other day Javed came sorry, worked his way through, and she changed her mind again. That time she wanted to go with Javed, saying that they have a stronger connection. And Demola felt very bad. I felt bad for Demola as well, I'm not gonna lie. I see that Demola really loved her, and he seems more sturdy, or I should say ready for a relationship. more than Javin. Javin seems like a joker to me, just like our regular Jamaican man would be. Not all, but most, because they do have a few that are not the same. But yeah, Javin, he didn't seem serious to me, to be honest. But at the end of the day, she chose Javin, and it still did not work out. And at the reunion, when they came together, they still were not together, and the Mola was there, and he was still single, showing that, you know, he is really trying, and something you just don't know how life happens. Probably if he's still, you know, the connection with Katisha, they might get a bond at some point. You may never know, but they have the choice. They choose what they want. I think Demola still loves her. As he said, he'll always love her, look out for her. So yeah, but and then before that, when they were at the place that they rent on the show, Javin had linked up with, not just Javin, everyone. When they link up together with everyone that was in the pods, Javin and what's her name again, Sophie, had linked up, and they were talking, and you know, everyone's saying that it looks flirty. Honestly, to me, it kind of looked close, and the fact that he asked if she lives near, or where does she live, like, why do you want to know that information? Why is that information important to you? Yeah, and they were having conversation and laughing and all that, smiling, and you know, but Katisha get jealous from that, and when they were to link up again, she was not interested. She didn't want to go. Javin went and enjoyed himself. They had this boot thing where Javin and Sophie was having an argument. That's what they said. We did not see that part, but that became a big issue. That was the issue why Katisha had walked away before going further in the experiment. So her friend, what's her name again? I don't remember her name. I'll put it in, I'll post it in caption. Yeah, she had a meeting with Katisha, telling her what went down that night, and that caused Katisha to walk away. She told that Javin was flirting, and he was with the three girls, Anu, Sophie, and another one. Three of them. She told her that he was with them whole night, having conversation, looking all flirty and all those stuff. So you know, Katisha took it seriously and said that it's a joke, he's playing her. And worse, she had seen where he was getting close with Sophie, then you know, she would definitely believe. And the way how her friend told her how it went, I would have been upset as well, and I would have definitely, probably I wouldn't walk away as yet, but you know, you didn't deserve to go home because Javin wasn't serious. Yeah, so that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in your next video. Bye.